Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all my Evil Hero Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile for March 2019. Now, of all the deck profiles that people have been wanting me to redo and update, this one is definitely one of the ones that people have commented the most on. I've done a lot of hero decks throughout the past couple months with the release of all the new support for Destiny heroes, Elemental heroes, Neospacians, you name it. I didn't want to overlook the Evil heroes, so I thought I'd tune up the deck, update it with all the new cards that we've had released, not just off the ban list, but overall in general. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So to start off with the monsters, I run 3 Evil Hero Infernal Gainer. With this one, during your main phase 1, you can banish this card to target one face-up fiend-type monster you control. That target can attack twice during each battle phase, and during your second standby phase, after this effect was activated, special summon this banished card in face-up attack position. So from the graveyard, you can do a lot with Infernal Gainer. That double attack really does come in handy depending on what fusion you decide to use it with, and the fact that you can special summon it back to the field to reuse is just an extra benefit after that standby phase. So very, very helpful overall. Definite 3 of, because it's also needed for a good amount of the fusions you run in the deck as well. And I also run 3 Evil Hero Infernal Prodigy. I decided to run this one at 3 just for the special summon you have with it, and with Link monsters being an option now with the deck as well. Just being able to special summon it, then normal summon, then have a Link option right available to you. Very, very helpful. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand in face-up attack position. And during the end phase, if you tributed this card this turn to tribute a hero monster, draw 1 card. So it works very, very well with Melissa's Edge if you do decide to use the tribute. But most of the time, I just end up using it as a resource, either for a fusion or a Link summon, especially a Link summon for Wonder Driver, just for the fact that it needs 2 hero monsters to make it, which Evil Hero still does count as heroes. So very, very easy to use this card in the deck. Same with Infernal Gainer. And I also run 1 Evil Hero Malicious Edge. I run 1 of this. It's an easy tribute just for the 1 Infernal Prodigy if that combo ever does pop up. But it's also needed for your fusion summon for Malicious Fiend, requiring 1 Malicious Edge and then 1 level 6 or higher Fiend type monster. So with that, you can have the requirements made with this card, and also just with if you use the proper requirements for that fusion, you can use King of the Swamps, just for depending on what option you want to go for. But 1 Malicious Edge definitely does help, just for that fill-in spot for sure, if nothing else. And I also run 3 Elemental Hero Prisma. With this one, I run it just basically for the fact that it can copy the name of any of your hero monsters. So very, very helpful there for sure, because we run a lot of one-ofs for the elemental hero monsters that we run in the deck, just for the fact that they don't really do much else aside from the requirements for the different fusions we run in the deck. So being able to set up the graveyard if we end up using Dark Calling, and then just have those names on the field to use with Dark Fusion, 3 Prisma definitely is, I would say, required in the deck just for that. And I also run 2 Elemental Heroes Solid Soldier. We didn't have Solid Soldier during the last deck profile update for the deck. So this card, once again, just helps with re-special summoning monsters if you use them for fusions. I have other fusion options aside from just the Evil Heroes in the deck to go through, since we also run Polymerization, just so you have both options available for you if you want to go for an Evil Hero, or just having that Elemental Hero option, or just using it for a Link summon if you can combo it well with Infernal Prodigy and then use Solid Soldier's effect. You can get out Dread Decimator very, very easily as well. So I like to run 2 of this just for that option as well. And then for the one-ofs, for the normal monsters, I run 1 Clayman, 1 Sparkman, 1 Burstinatrix, and 1 Avion. Like I said before, you're able to send these off to the graveyard and then copy the names with Prisma. You're able to special summon them out with some of the other cards we have in the deck, which we'll get to. You don't really need more than 1, though. You're able to reuse them in many different ways, so you have that option available to you with the deck. So I don't really see a need to run any more of these, unless you wanted to focus on one specific fusion fusion and not run all of them, which I wanted to run all of them in the deck just because it's more fun that way and still more consistent for sure. You can run the multiples if you just wanted to run, let's say, one of the evil heroes, then you can go for that option there and stick with it. But then for the other one-ofs, I run one Wild Heart. I could have stuck it with the other one-ofs for the normal monsters, but you run Wild Heart just for the fact that we have Evil Hero Wild Cyclone, so you need that monster to go for, of course. And I can't remember, I think it was before it came off the ban list, but one elemental hero Stratos as well. Just the spell and trap destruction with the hero monsters, working with evil heroes as well. And just to add one hero monster from your deck to your hand, being able to search any of the evil heroes as well with Stratos, very, very important for sure. So a definite card to run in the deck. And I also run 3 King of the Swamps. Now this one definitely does come in handy, whether it's searching for polymerization, but most of the time just being short of that one monster I need for the specific requirements for the evil heroes. King of the Swamps just definitely does come in handy for sure, meeting those needs for the fusion summon. And then lastly, for the monsters, I still like to run the one Neospatian Grand Mole. Grand Mole just helps for our one fusion. I thought of a bunch of different rock monsters to run, but Dark Gaia is very, very powerful in the deck, and it needs a rock type monster to make it. So I decided to stick with the Grand Mole for the deck, just for the fact that it's also searchable with Fusion Reserve, which we'll get to that when we get to the traps, but you just need the one of for it otherwise. And that is it for the monsters. We'll now move on to the spells. I run 3 Dark Fusion. This is your main spell card you use to fusion summon into the evil hero monsters. You send from your hand or your side of the field to the graveyard fusion material monsters that are listed on a Fiend type fusion monster card, and special summon that fusion monster from your fusion, from the extra deck. I said fusion deck. This card is very, very old. I don't have the updated foil versions of the card. I definitely do want to get them, but fusion deck, that brings so many memories back. But way before Synchro was introduced. But the extra deck, this special summon is treated as a fusion summon. The special summon monster cannot be targeted by the effects of your opponent's monster spells and traps. So not only does this card protect your evil hero that you make, it's just the needed card because all the evil heroes require that they be summoned with Dark Fusion. So remember that as well with the deck. And then I also run 1 Polymerization and 1 Fusion Substitute. You have other fusion options as well in the deck to go for. I like running 1 Fusion Substitute. You have the search option available to you with King of the Swamps, since this card is always treated as Polymerization, but just being able to have that draw power definitely does come in handy for sure for recycling some of your resources. And I also run 1 Dark Calling. I might bump this up to 2. It's the Miracle Fusion for the evil heroes, just removing from play from your hand or your graveyard. It doesn't work with the field, so remember that, which is the one reason I decided to run it at 1, since the fact that usually you really like when it's the field or graveyard. If it's from the hand, I'll use Dark Fusion most of the time, or Polymerization. Just having, the ability to free up space on the field with cards like Miracle Fusion. I know what they were trying to do with this card, make it kind of like the opposite of Miracle Fusion. But like I said, it does come in handy at times, but not as preferred as Miracle Fusion, I would say, in some hero decks. And I also run 3 Emergency Call, just search-wise, grab whatever hero you need. Definitely 3 of in the deck for that matter. And I also run 1 Hero Lives at 1 on the ban list. I think I may have run 3 of this during the last Evil Hero deck profile. But sadly at 1, being able to search out and special summon that Evil Hero, Elemental Hero monster. Most of the time I go for Stratos, just being able to get that search for other cards and just extend into more plays is very, very helpful for sure. And I also run 1 Super Polymerization. Jaden did use this when he was the Supreme King in the anime, plus the card is way too good when we have the generic heroes to go for. It can't summon the evil heroes, but you have other options to go for with this card as well. And I also run 2 Unexpected Die, plenty of vanilla monsters, normal monsters to special summon out with this card. Just easy resources going first as well if you have no monsters on the field, being able to grab Burstentrix, Clayman, Sparkman, Avion, you name it. I like this card just for that fact that I can grab whichever one I need, because if I have the then respectable other fusion counterpart in my hand already, like if I open up with Sparkman and I just need Clayman, this card definitely does help out with that. And then I also run one Foolish Burial. I like to run this just so I can get my Infernal Gainer into the graveyard, so I can use the attack twice effect with it. Definitely does help for sure. If you didn't want to run Foolish, you could try a second Dark Calling if you wanted to try two, but I like that attack twice pressure you can do with it, and then special summoning it back later on. And then I also run one Reinforcements of the Army and one Monster Reborn just to finish off the spells. Summon, and then just the generic use of Rhoda in the deck is very, very helpful, searching out any of the warrior monsters you need. And then that is it for the spells. Moving on to the traps, I run two Fusion Reserve. This card, I spoke of it earlier in the video, just being very, very helpful to search out any of the monsters you basically need in the deck for any of your fusions, since all the fusion monsters in the extra deck require specifically named cards. And also in the terms of Elemental Neospatian, I'm just messing up so many phrases this video, but Elemental Hero Grand Neos, I run it in the extra deck as well, just solely for the fact that you can search out Grand Mole with this card, and then also you can recycle your Polymerization from your graveyard if you ended up using it as well. And that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra. I run one Evil Hero Inferno Wing. This is the one that requires Avion and Burstinatrix to fusion summon. You have to use Dark Fusion for your Evil Hero monsters. Remember that as well. But this card inflicts piercing damage when it attacks, and it can also burn your opponent for damage when it destroys a monster by battle. And you get to pick equal to the attack or defense, whichever is higher. So more burn damage that way as well. So good option to go for. I'd say I like that card a lot more than Flame Wingman. Based on attack, I also run one Lightning Golem. Simple effect for Sparkman and Clayman. Once per turn, you can destroy one monster on the field. Easy as that. Basically the same stats as Thunder Giant, but just an easier destruction effect for sure. And I also run one Wild Cyclone. This is for Avion and Wildheart. If this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate any spell or traps until the end of damage step. And when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, destroy all face-up spell or traps your opponent controls. So good way to take care of field spell, continuous spells, continuous traps, you name it. And then I also run one Infernal Sniper. With this one, during your standby phase, if this card is face up in defense, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. This card cannot be destroyed by the effects of a spell card. So very interesting card for sure, being the card used for Burstinatrix and Clayman, but I like it just for that burn damage for sure. And then just not being able to be destroyed by cards like Darkhole, Regeki, you name it. And then the big fusion is Malicious Fiend. This one needs Malicious Edge and then the level 6 or higher Fiend type monster. So you have the option for using your other Fiend type fusions to make it, and then with the Malicious Edge, it's usually what I end up doing with this card. 3,500 attack, and during your opponent's battle phase, all monsters they control are changed to face-up attack position, and each monster they control must attack this turn. So if this is the only card on your field and they have to attack into this card, quite a deadly combo for sure. If you can successfully make it go off. And I also run two Dark Gaia. This one just helps with the rock type being the thing. Grand Mole, I also use it for Dark Calling most of the time. So good option for the fusion summon for sure. Then gaining the attack of the monsters you used for the original attacks to make it, so you can hit some pretty big numbers with Dark Gaia as well. And then for some other generic options, I run one Vision Hero Adoration and one Vision Hero Trinity. Just the hero fusions with Polymerization if you have your Evil Heroes as well. And you just want a big finisher or just a more generic one if you open up with Polymerization. And for more generic hero plays, one Elemental Hero The Shining, one Elemental Hero Great Tornado, one Nova Master, and like I said, the Grand Neos is here for the Grand Mole call since you can't contact fuse it out anyway. And then for the Link monsters, I want to stick as close as I could for the hero monsters. So Wonder Driver and Dread Decimator, when you can make them, they definitely do help with your plays for sure. Just here for those options, especially Dread Decimator, just so you can open up all your fusion plays available to you if you can link summon this card out. So very, very helpful for sure. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I was very happy that I was able to revamp the deck, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.